For Christmas, I got these 5 magic pencils, and here I am opening them. They have multiple colors in the one pencil, and they're really exciting. I decided if I enjoyed these, I would buy the larger set, whichever one was a better price, of the tricolor version, but I'd still get the larger magic version of them, if I like these ones. My first impressions of them here. We're looking at them. One problem with the pencils is that they do not have the names on them. Tropical, Fire, America, the original magic pencil, and Neon. When I first used them, I did not absolutely enjoy them. But the more I used them and the more I thought about it, the more I came to absolutely adore these pencils, and I started actually thinking they were one of my favorite art supplies, at least right now. You give up the control of the exact color you're using, but get the magical rainbow gradient effect, and can do lots of different sketches. Here I'm testing them out on my craft paper sketchbook, which is very smooth paper, and I find the quality of the lead, the core, to be quite good. And I haven't really had huge trouble layering them or anything like that. I find them to be really fun to use for sketching, and I have these old pencil sharpeners that I got at Dollarama that have a larger side to them that fit these pencils perfectly, so I do have a sharpener that works with them, which is very nice. I'm trying to layer different pencils here to make a sort of rainbow sketch of a butterfly using all the different colors here, just to see if it looks like too much. Personally, I don't think it looks like too much. I like to have rainbow colors and lots of colors and things, and I like to change what I'm doing over time. Also, I don't intend to use these alone all the time. I intend to do mixed medias. So I also use paint such as watercolor and gouache with the original sketch, and sometimes I can go over top with these pencils again and use even other media if I want to. Because you can use these with mixed media and in sketchbooks, and just to loosen up, I think they're actually quite useful. But if you want exact, precise control, and you don't want any sort of randomness when it comes to the artwork you're doing, then you might not be able to handle the fact that you can't get as easily control on these. However, with more practice and time, I started realizing I could look at the tip and I could turn the pencil and intentionally start getting certain colors I wanted. So there is a certain amount of control you can start getting with time, as well as allowing yourself to loosen up on the control of which color exactly you get in order to get a nice blend of different colors. I'm just drawing a little bit of a leopard here, just really quick with the flame pencil, just to try it out and to do different things. At first I thought it would be nice to have more similar colors, like from the tricolor, tritone set, or the 3-color magic set. But in the end, I really do like that these ones have wild and crazy colors and are more free to express with a strange, interesting mix. I'm using the neon pencil here to do this fish, which probably isn't that clear on camera at this point. The neon pencil overall is my least favorite because it's hardest to see and the least useful overall. Here we have my neon komorabi paints, featured in a previous video, that I bring in here to paint in the fish. As I drew the fish initially with the multicolored neon pencil, I thought it appropriate to also paint it in with neon colors. I mostly am using soft hair and makeup brushes more to do wet and wet techniques here. I also pulled out my travel palette, which includes some neon colors. They're the neon Paul Rubens set, which was also featured in a different video. Here I'm using the classic magic pencil to get a multicolored little ferns on the side and just drawing some plants like these leaves here over in the corner. I'm just drawing random things with different ones. Here I am pulling that black paper back out so I can do a black paper test for the America pencil. It doesn't show up that well because the only color of the 3 that shows up well on black is the white. The red and the blue are dark and don't show up well on black. The America pencil is really a pickle because it's more like 2 colors with an annoying white blender. There isn't really a good way to use it here. I'm probably going to try it a little more on toned paper, like my craft toned paper and maybe some gray or other papers. But as for now, it's my second least favorite of these 5, with the neon in last place. Although I still like it. The red and blue is still more fun, and sometimes I am in the mood for the neon. It can be interesting to get the purpley tones and the blue and the red. And it is kind of fun to have an America-themed pencil. just for the sake of inspiration and letting go of being too overly controlled. I'm pulling out that little flippy travel palette. It's the 42 palette featured in a previous video, and I like to use it. Sometimes I use it in the studio like here, just because it's convenient and it's easy to spin open and use, and quick. Using any watercolor or gouache off screen I have around that just takes my fancy, I paint stuff in. I pull out the flame themed pencil and just draw a nice little bird from imagination. It's really good to just let the pencil's themes and colors and the way they mix just inspire random doodles, so I find these to be particularly good for ideas and random things in sketchbooks. Pull out some watercolor and such in order to paint the bird in here just real quick. And I'm enjoying them especially in sketchbooks. Here's all the artworks I've been doing, some painted in, some not, just with the multicolor 5 magic pencils since I got them. I actually did all these pages really quick. It makes you fill up sketchbooks faster, or at least it makes me fill up sketchbooks faster. I'm just coming in here and adding a little more onto this slightly creepy page. There's one page there that was for another thing, and this one here that I decided I want to paint in more. This one here is the tropical pencil. I keep thinking of it as mystic, but for some reason, because that's what I like to call it, but it's actually called tropical. It's more of a magenta, a cyan, and a bright yellow. Here I'm painting things in using the travel palette. The two yellow colors at the top are both Naples yellow, one being the Shinhan Pass and the other one being the Emgram. The very top off-white there is actually a Van Gogh titanium buff. And as you can see, I'm using some of the palette mud from before. I save paint in a lot of my palettes, in fact in most of them all the time, and I reuse the mud. I'm using some of the buff titanium there over the neon in the eyes. You can vaguely still see the pencil actually leaking through the paint a bit, which is a really fun effect. I'm also using other colored pencils with these to, in particular, add in certain colors where I want to add those colors in, instead of forcing myself to only be stuck with the randomness of the pencils. So you can come back in with very similar or related or even totally unrelated. That's the thing. We're free to do whatever we want and just use things as a starting point and inspiration. I'm using some watercolors here just to go over everything in a way that I find enjoyable. I did a tiny neon fish. I suppose that the neon pencil just makes me think of fish because in real life that's where some neon does appear in nature, is fish. I'm using Naples Yellow Red in my original 42 spinner travel palette. When using such things on paper that's not designed for watercolors, I do advise to use makeup brushes and soft brushes more, as well as keep a gentle hand so you don't pill up the paper or damage it too much, as well as using catch under pages so if something does leak through it doesn't affect the next page in the sketchbook. I made sure to try to use some layered colors, but more just one layer on paper that isn't suitable for watercolors. And I'm making sure to just use colors I feel like randomly and spontaneously that I also think go with the colors of the pencil that I used to do the sketches initially. This is just a mix catch-all page and there's no rhyme, rhythm, or reason to it really. It's just random things that I decided to sketch. I used the tropical pencil for both the cat person and the rooster on this page, and I very much enjoyed sketching everything out. Just whatever I felt like doing. Some stuff is more referenced than other things. And I used a mix of gouache and watercolor on the rooster and mostly watercolor here on the cat person. And here's a final look at the artwork. Once again, that's all for this video. If you like my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to all notifications so you will know when a new video comes up. I aim for new videos every Wednesday, but sometimes life happens and things are delayed. I hope that you enjoyed this video and will see you with another one very soon.